What message do you have to Prince fans?
Just keep saying prayers for everyone, for the family.
There was no sign of this. This is just...
You know, everyone gets sick once in a while. We don't know. We're going to find.
First Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here to get to the bottom of it, though, it sounds like.
We pretty much know what's going on, but, you know, all we want to do is just talk about the man, the musician.
Welcome back. Let's spill the tea on today's biggest celebrity stories. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to get your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Sheila E. was the last person Prince ever truly trusted. And now, word on the street is she's finally speaking up about what really went down and what Prince was trying to warn the world about before his untimely death. And guess whose name just won't stay out of the shadows? Diddy's, again. Some fans believe Prince wasn't just fighting for music rights. Nah, it was way deeper. He was about to blow the lid off the dark side of the industry. We're talking exploitation, manipulation, and secret rituals that most folks wouldn't even want to believe. And somehow, Diddy's name keeps popping up in those same circles. That ain't no small coincidence. Sources say Sheila E., who's been quiet for years, is now allegedly revealing the chilling truth Prince carried with him until the end. According to her, Prince was holding on to something massive, trying to protect the public from something twisted that he felt we weren't ready to face. And now, Sheila ain't holding back anymore. To give y'all some context, Sheila E. met Prince back in 1977 while performing with her father. But it wasn't until 1984 that things got real. She signed with Warner Brothers and teamed up with Prince on her debut solo album, The Glamorous Life. He wasn't just producing, he co-wrote the title track and played on it too. That bond ran deep, and now that bond might be the key to unlocking secrets Prince never got the chance to spill. Sheila E. wasn't just a collaborator. She was in the trenches with Prince during his most legendary era. She opened for him on the Purple Rain tour in '84 and '85, then went on to sign with his label, Paisley Park Records. Right after that tour lit the world on fire. But it didn't stop there. She was Prince's musical director for his Sign of the Times and Love Sexy tours, two of the wildest shows in music history. She wasn't just behind the scenes either. Sheila was everywhere. She played on multiple Prince albums, appeared in the Sign of the Times concert film, rocked the stage with him at the Brit Awards, and even toured with him again in 2007. That bond? It ran deep. But here's where the story gets wild, because this wasn't just about music. Sheila and Prince had a real thing, and fans still whisper about it today. During a live performance, right in front of a full crowd, Prince looked her dead in the eyes from across the stage and mouthed two words that stopped time: "Marry me." No script, no stunt, just raw, unfiltered emotion. And get this, they were reportedly engaged after that moment, even if the wedding never happened. That spark between them never really faded, even through the ups and downs. Sure, some reports say they hadn't spoken for about 5 years before Prince passed in 2016, but don't get it twisted. The history between them, still heavy, still powerful, still full of unanswered questions. Now, the reason folks say Prince and Sheila E. drifted apart, it supposedly had to do with her memoir, The Beat of My Own Drum, where she spilled some personal tea about their relationship. But what if that wasn't the real story? According to close insiders, the two actually reconnected before Prince passed. And during those final moments, Prince allegedly confided a whole lot to Sheila E., including some shocking claims involving Diddy. Let's break it down. Prince was loud about the shady power structures in the industry. He wasn't afraid to speak on the suits pulling strings behind the scenes, those who controlled artists, manipulated narratives, and silenced anyone who got too real. So when Sheila E says Prince spoke about Diddy, that ain't something to brush off. Prince fought hard for creative freedom. He believed artists should own their masters and get paid what they're worth. And we all know Diddy's name constantly pops up in conversations about controlling contracts and industry manipulation. The pieces are starting to connect. Now, rewind to 1977. Prince signed with Warner Music at just 18 years old. His early albums from 78 to 81 didn't blow up on the charts, but Warner kept him on, because even back then, they knew he was a real musician, a symbol of long-term greatness. Then came 1982, just 1 year after MTV hit the scene, and Prince dropped new music that finally cracked the US top 10. But he wasn't just chasing hits, he understood the power of visuals. He used music videos to build his image, his mystery, his legend. He wasn't just a star, he became a myth. And that's exactly what scared the industry. And maybe, just maybe, Diddy too. Once Prince carved out his spot as a certified icon, he launched his own label, Paisley Park Records. But don't get it twisted, Warner Brothers still had their hands in it. They helped fund it and handled the distribution. But even with his own imprint, Prince started calling them out. He exposed how they were lowballing him, exploiting his art, and pulling strings behind the scenes. And guess who else was deep in bed with Warner Brothers? Yep, Diddy. Warner didn't just back Prince, they cut a massive deal with Diddy that gave them a 50% stake in Bad Boy Records. That's half the whole label. Through that deal, Warner handled both digital and physical distribution of the entire Bad Boy catalog, from Mace to Biggie, to Mario Winans, and Diddy himself. Diddy was proud of it too. When he spoke on the deal, he said, "There have been a lot of boutique labels that come and go, but we're still here. This partnership gives us the right backing, the right structure, the right people to stay strong in the industry." Sounds nice, right? But when you peel back the layers, it starts looking real familiar. See the exact same shady treatment Prince was exposing at Warner? Diddy was turning around and doing the same thing to the artist under his label. Just ask Lil Jerome. When folks asked if leaving Bad Boy was his decision, he didn't even try to hide the struggle. He said, "It's a mix of growing pains and the pressure of the music business." That pressure? Yeah, that's code for something ain't right. It's like history repeating itself, but this time Prince warned us, and not enough people listened. Lil Jerome dropped a bombshell when he said, "I had a nervous breakdown, and it was in Puffy's best interest to not keep the project." Translation? He didn't walk away. He was pushed out. This wasn't about music, it was about survival. He had around 13 tracks ready to go, a full album locked and loaded. But after that breakdown, Diddy tossed him like he was nothing. And Jerome ain't alone. Carl Thomas told a cold story too. After his brother passed away, Diddy barely gave him time to breathe. A week later, Diddy hit him up like, "When you coming back to the studio, I got hits for you. Not, I'm sorry, not take your time. Just business, like his grief didn't even matter." And then there's Biggie. Now this one's heavy. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, claimed Biggie was already planning to leave Bad Boy for a better deal somewhere else. But after Big passed, Diddy wasn't mourning. He was moving units. Reports say he pressured the whole Bad Boy team to shift into grind mode for the Life After Death rollout. It was all about charts. Number one, number one, number one. Top 10, top 10, top 10 factorial. While the world cried, Diddy was counting numbers. And let's not forget, before the lawsuits even hit, Diddy tried flipping the narrative. Out of nowhere, he announced he was giving back publishing rights to Bad Boy artists, even the former ones. But fans weren't buying it. Why now? After years of silence and control, people are waking up, and it's getting harder for Diddy to spin the story. When Diddy suddenly started offering publishing rights back to Bad Boy artists, it looked like a generous move. But according to Aubrey O'Day, it wasn't all sunshine and freedom. She revealed she got the details months before the public even heard about it, and there was a catch buried deep in the fine print. Other artists got the same call, but something about it felt off. It wasn't a gift, it was a trap. Insiders say this was just another way for Diddy to maintain control, silence voices, and shift the narrative in his favor. A classic move, hand back the crumbs while keeping the power. But what if Prince saw all of this way before it hit the blogs? Because apparently, he did. Sources claim Prince was watching Diddy long before any lawsuits or public drama. And if he whispered even a fraction of what he knew to Sheila E., then everything makes sense. Why she's finally starting to speak. Why her words are sounding more pointed, more deliberate. That truth Prince carried, it's bubbling to the surface. Sheila's been subtle, sure, but those close to her say she's finally peeling back the curtain. She's allegedly been telling folks that Prince had eyes wide open when it came to the industry. He saw the exploitation, the stolen masters, the manipulation of young talent, and he didn't hold back. He called it what it was, modern-day slavery. He knew the labels weren't just making money, they were erasing legacies. And here's the kicker, Prince wanted to name names. He carried that burden until his final days. Sheila E, who's always shown him nothing but love and grace, might just be the one to finish what he started. Because according to those close to her, Prince warned her, and now it's all starting to unfold. There's also a rumor floating around that Prince had started working on a massive tell-all project before he died, something that would have pulled the curtain all the way back on the industry's dirtiest secrets. And guess what? Sheila E allegedly knew about it. Some say she even helped him organize notes and voice memos all stored at Paisley Park. But here's where things get sketchy. After Prince's death, a lot of that material vanished, gone without a trace. Some insiders believe it was intentionally wiped, that certain people didn't want those files falling into the wrong hands, or worse, the right hands, the kind of hands that might expose everything. And while Sheila E hasn't publicly confirmed this, folks close to her say she's hinted at a lost project that had the power to change how people see the entire music business. That's no small claim. We're talking about decades of cover-ups, backroom deals, and artists being pushed to the edge, some never making it back. It's no wonder Diddy's name keeps circling these conversations. Between his ties to Warner, the bad boy fallout, and the way he allegedly treated his own artists, the overlap is just too obvious to ignore. Prince wasn't just watching, he was connecting the dots. And now, it looks like Sheila's ready to let some of those dots show. She's been moving careful, but her tone's changed. Her interviews feel heavier, and fans have picked up on it. Some even say she's waiting for the right moment to drop what she knows, because once it's out, there's no going back. And if Prince really left breadcrumbs, Sheila E might just be the one to follow them all the way to the truth. Now here's where things get even crazier, because while Sheila E might be holding on to secrets, there are whispers that others in Prince's circle have been warned to stay quiet too. One source even claimed that after Prince's death, several close associates were pressured to sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, that locked down any talk about what Prince was working on in his final years. Some of these folks were longtime collaborators, others, employees at Paisley Park. But one thing they all had in common, access. They knew what Prince was planning, and allegedly, some of them even heard him speak directly about the people he didn't trust, including execs from Warner and big industry names that, yep, allegedly included Diddy. And let's not forget, Prince was no stranger to fighting giants. He changed his name to a symbol just to get out of a record deal. He performed with the word slave written on his face. He was loud, bold, and unapologetic. So if he was building something behind the scenes, best believe it wasn't just a music project, it was a message. Meanwhile, Diddy has been scrambling to hold on to his legacy. From surprise press runs to sudden generosity with artist rights, it all smells like damage control. And with lawsuits piling up, old footage resurfacing, and insiders finally speaking, the pressure's mounting. So when people say Sheila E is playing it safe right now, they might be right. But safe doesn't mean silent. She's watching, she's waiting. And if what Prince told her was even half as explosive as insiders claim, it's only a matter of time before that truth comes crashing down. Because the industry can only bury so many secrets before they dig themselves a grave. And let's be real, if anybody knew where the skeletons were buried, it was Prince. This man didn't just survive the industry, he outsmarted it for decades. That's why so many people believe the silence after his death wasn't natural. It was orchestrated. Too many unanswered questions, too many sudden disappearances of his unfinished work. And now, all eyes are on Sheila E to connect the dots. See, Prince wasn't just talking in interviews or throwing shade in songs. He was dropping coded messages in his music, in his performances, in his visuals. He was warning folks without saying too much outright. And guess what? The more you go back and listen now, the more it all starts making sense. Like he knew what was coming, and he knew who was behind it. And here's what's really wild. Some sources say Prince warned Sheila that if anything happened to him, she'd be watched too. That she might be pressured, followed, or even targeted if she ever spoke on what he told her. That's why, up until now, she's only hinted at the truth, never said it all the way out loud. But her tone lately, It's different. She's not just grieving anymore. She's positioning. Every word, every appearance, it feels like she's getting ready to drop something heavy. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, because once she opens that door, there's no closing it. And with the lawsuits, the court cases, and the industry shakeups happening right now, the timing couldn't be more perfect. If Sheila E. decides to speak up fully, we might finally hear the story Prince never got to finish. And that could change everything. Prince wasn't just fighting for his masters, he was trying to expose the whole system. He warned the world that some of the biggest names in the game were out here playing God with artists' lives, careers, and even their legacies. And now, with the music industry shaking under the weight of fresh lawsuits and Diddy's name in the middle of it all, people are finally starting to see what Prince was talking about. What's chilling is that Prince seemed to know the end was near, days before it happened. He posted a photo with a cryptic caption that has since vanished. Just when you thought you were safe, let that sink in. Then came his final appearance, at a party in Paisley Park, fresh out of treatment, surrounded by familiar faces. But instead of hope, he dropped a haunting warning. Wait a few days before you waste any prayers. A few days later, he was gone. He was found unresponsive at his estate in Minnesota. Officially, an accidental fentanyl overdose tied to counterfeit Vicodin, but not everyone's buying that. Even Sheila E. said it didn't add up. Not one bit. How does a man who fought so hard for control, who warned about the powers behind the curtain, end up gone just like that? Was it truly an accident, or something more calculated? Something tied to what he knew, to what he was about to reveal? So here we are, nearly a decade later, and Sheila E. might finally be ready to tell us what Prince never got the chance to. If she speaks, it could crack the foundation of everything. And with Diddy now under the spotlight, the timing couldn't be more suspicious. The question now is, how deep does this go? And are we finally ready to hear the truth Prince tried so hard to deliver before it was too late? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.